Good morning,
Morning.
Jeff and Drake.
Good morning.
Welcome, anyone.
Did you almost say Jake? It sounds a lot.
Oh,
the same.
yes.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky.
It is.
We'll get there.
We are here with another episode of the Average Pastor Podcast. I'm Mark. I'm here with my pastor friends, Jeff and Drake. So we got Drake Epkiss. Jake is
He got voted off the island. He became too big of a deal.
He did. He's on leave.
Oh.
I don't know where Jake is, but
I don't either.
I don't know if the question is how are you here, Jeff? Like
I know.
You just got back from Zambia 2
Dude.
minutes ago, and so we're gonna and here
the
you
fog
are.
still.
We're getting the
I
jet
am in a
lagged.
fog. You're gonna. Who knows what's about to come out of my
Just so
mouth?
everybody knows, Jake on the text thread, his excuse for it, he just said, "I'm out."
Yeah,
That was it.
That's it.
That was it. That was enough.
That's all we know about why Jake is not here this morning.
So he
I'm
he
out.
was with me in Zambia, so I do have some compassion for the dude. I don't know why he's not here, but I'm sure very legit. But yeah, we both got back after a quick
Little trip away.
Yeah.
Oh
So-
man.
Well, it's fun. I'm excited to be on this past week at Connection Group. We were talking about the last podcast, and one of the topics that came up, and so we were talking about that for a little bit, and then someone was like, "How did they get to that topic?" I was like, that's a great question. I have no
It's
idea.
legit.
So now I'm curious to see where we get to.
You're gonna
today.
be
It's all I'm
behind the
saying. Yeah.
curtain, Drake.
Oh, for
You're
sure.
gonna-
Drake. The places we will go.
Yeah, it's an adventure that we're waiting to discover.
We all are. including
Dr.
the host.
Seuss. Dr. Seuss wrote a book about this podcast.
Wow.
Dude,
You
speaking
can do
of
a
books,
story time reading.
I think I might have come up with a book that I want to write.
Let's go.
Come on.
What's the book? Let's all
This is
drum
at
roll.
least
It's a
All right.
Russian novel.
It's
take some
take
time.
me until I'm 94 to finish it, but I'm in. That's hilarious.
Some Roman literature.
So no, this is at like 5 o'clock in the morning, when I couldn't sleep because of jet lag. But I think I want to call it To Zambia and Back. Or no, To Zambia. I'm telling you, there's a fog. To Zambia and Back Again. And then a little nod, to Tolkien. And then also then the subtitle would be let's see, and then in parentheses, first 25 trips to Zambia. Kind of, so when we go back, Drake,
Yeah.
in October, it'll be my 25th trip to the Hope Center.
No way.
And I was thinking that could be a perfect moment to hit pause and say, what have I learned from Zambia? And thus the little parenthetic
Ooh.
first 25 trips,
Yeah.
because I hope it's not my last. But I did think, man, there's something about 25. You know what I mean? It's just a
Yep.
benchmark
Yep.
number. So because I just started, as I'm laying there in bed, thinking about what each chapter would be somewhat disconnected. Like there's not a linear, it's not first we did this, more thoughts as they present themselves about different episodic key moments,
Stories.
just stories,
just
the
been
heroes
amazing,
I
yeah.
have, maybe one's a person, one's an event, but just kind of not a memoir in like a linear way, chronological, but I just want to reflect. And honestly, if the people that have been to the Hope Center are the only ones that ever read it, it's like for me and maybe my family or something. You know what I mean? Just so I'm kind of excited about it.
Can you give us some of the things that would some of the things that stand out from the 25 trips or 24 now?
I think one of them is trust. And I say that it sounds, I don't know, too simple or something. But so for instance, in this last trip, I concocted this brilliant idea through Drake, actually, of going from Livingston, not Lusaka, the capital, but Livingston, fly up with a bush pilot to Serengeti. Okay, so brilliant plan. It's going to be fun. And it was fun. kind of, except I was jammed in the back of this little Cessna
With the
luggage jammed between my ribs. But anyway, we made it. Anyway, but we drop into the middle of not the airport that I thought we were and that I had told my Zambian friends to meet me in. No, we fly an hour north of Serengeti. I'm looking out the window as the pilot's like, yeah, and over there, little back there is Serengeti. And I'm like, is there a reason it's behind us?
Isn't that where we're going?
If I recall,
That's where we're supposed to be
I booked
landing.
this flight to go to Serengeti, but okay, all right. So anyway, he goes, no, I don't think their runway is working. So I'm going to drop you in a farmer that I've met. He has a macadamia farm north of Serengeti. And I'm like, well, I don't have a lot of choice.
Right.
I can't even move, well alone grab the wheel of this plane.
It makes me wonder, like, how bad was the runway if the farm was better?
The
Don't you
macadamia
wonder?
nut farm
Had a
runway was better.
Dirt pass.
Right.
So the gravel,
That's
the
it.
gravel that we landed on is apparently better than whatever
Right.
they offer in Serengeti. So anyway, so we get okay, but here's the crazy: we get there, and as we're dropping down in, there's no cell service, there's no anything because we're out in the middle of nowhere. As far horizon to horizon, all you can see are macadamia trees, no homes, no anything, and thank God the farmer happens to pull up right when we land and he only does this like once a week because he's going to get in his little private plane and go somewhere. He just happens to come. Otherwise, our pilot left. He went back to Lusaka and we are
Good
out
luck.
on this gravel runway looking around like what? So this farmer pulls up, has his hired hand take us back to this office, which is just a big cargo, what do you call those? That go on the
Container,
back.
like
Container.
a-
There you go.
yes.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Shipping container that they've cut doors and windows into. And because they have a satellite that they can get Wi-Fi. So I was able to call John. Anyway, he goes, hey, I'm taking off. So I'll just stop back late tonight to see if you guys are still here, and left. So here we are in the middle of a macadamia farm, having no idea if Jonathan will or ever could find us in the middle of nowhere. And I start laughing though.
And also you at the death sentence.
It's not
with
lost on me that
this tree nut allergy.
I literally could go anaphylactic at any moment, because I'm in the middle of a macadamia field and I'm severely allergic to tree nuts. And that's all you can see. There's no other crop. It's just acres and acres of macadamia trees. So I'm laughing about, anyway, I honestly, because we got in the back of this guy's pickup in order to go down this dusty road up to nowhere to find a way that I can call Jonathan. But all that to say, there was this strange, like I was actually laughing and saying to you guys, well, welcome to my time in Zambia. This is what Africa does to me all the time, And I wasn't freaked out. And there was a part of me that I thanked God for Zambia, for teaching me. My Zambian friends live like that all the time, and rarely because they got off a plane. You know what I mean? Their whole life, though, is like on the cusp of disaster and broken promises and stuff that breaks. You know what I'm saying? They're on the cusp of this stuff happening all the time. And yet they are the happiest, content. Mm-hmm. Marjorie, Jonathan, all my favorites over there are always like, well, we'll just wait on the Lord. And so, Mark, you've talked about Veritas's superpower of we wait on the Lord. And I'm like, I have to fight for that. You know what I mean? I'm an American. I don't often, if the littlest thing goes wrong, an order doesn't go through as I'd hoped or whatever, I'm on it. I've got my rights. I've got, I don't have to live with broken promises and things that don't go right. And in that moment, I was just like, wow, God, you have actually changed me, I think. When my initial response, I'm not unaware that this is a terrible situation we're in, but I started laughing and I'm like, here we are. And then the minute we get to the Hope Center, Jonathan did find us. Thank God. Yeah. Here I am to tell the story, right? So I didn't die of anaphylaxis and we were found. Marjorie comes walking up, just beaming with her smile and laughing her beautiful laugh with her arms open wide and saying to everybody else as she's got her eyes locked on me, well, welcome to Jeff Dodge's Adventures. He doesn't come here without some kind of adventure. She's laughing and hugging me. And
she's loving it.
Loving it. So anyway, I'm just saying, like, that's one example of I found like actually secured in my soul a true waiting on the Lord. And I'm so thankful.
How do you process the tension of the beauty and the heartache of that nation and those people? I always think of, Solzhenitsyn's quote when he talks about his time in the Gulag in Russia. And he says, his famous quote is, "Bless you, prison, for having been in my life."
Yeah.
Just what he learned in that time. And I never want to, like, I want to be careful with this but I often think of, when I go to Zambia, I always think, bless you, Zambia, for having been in my life. Now, it's not the gulags. But there's a beauty to it. There's like that moment of you being dropped off in the middle of nowhere, no cell service, no way out, and in total dependence. And how our brothers and sisters, that's their life. They live that way. And I think we have this illusion of control.
Yes.
And illusion of omniscience.
Yes.
And access to all knowledge. And so that's why I'm so fascinated by the idea of waiting as a secret weapon of the Christian life, as almost maybe a key to the Christian life. Like if you think about, like, the Bible, we often talk about doing a daily devotion, reading the Bible, a quiet time. And those are good words, but I think if you were talking to David, King David, shepherd boy David, about how's your
quiet time?
Quiet time, how's your daily devotion, how's your Bible, he would, like, I think he would call it waiting on the Lord. Like, I was waiting on the Lord this morning. It's your time with God is, because waiting assumes that you're not in control of the situation. Right? You're someone else has to come for you. Someone you're not acting. You're waiting.
You're waiting in expectation.
In expectation.
Yeah. What is it? Is it 5? What's I lay my request before in the morning, O Lord. I lay my request before and wait in expectation. Where is it?
Psalm 4, something like
4, somewhere. That's a great. I think that's a great way to put it. That constant waiting. It's not like for us, even like with the building and different times where we've got an event or something that we're waiting. Lord, intervene. But theirs is a 24/7 constant.
Do you think there's a weird, like in the Psalm we always quote, Psalm 27:14 or something like that, where it's wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. That there's waiting is not a place of weakness.
Right.
It's a place of strength and courage.
Or just kind of passivity, as if you're just limp and just, I'm waiting. I'm sure there are those moments. It's more, a strength, a courageous thing. To wait on the Lord.
And I just got back from Taiwan and Thailand, and man, if there's ever been some logs thrown on the fire of global missions and God's heart for the nations, and I got back and had you before you left, one of your last gifts to me was, Mark, I think you should preach. Oh, I am cutting out, James. I don't know if here it is. Oh, okay, it's connected. It's all working. Is one of your last gifts to me was, Mark, I think you should preach 2 days after you get back at Veritas. So I'm on the plane.
Your best form.
I'm on the plane trying to sermon prep between, so I don't know what,
What a gift.
Yeah, like I think you should do Vision Sunday. And it was actually, I was so thankful for that because
it was so rich.
Coming back, just like you feel like you're on fire. Like I'm ready to explode here.
Dude. Well, and I think the cool thing about when we first got to talk yesterday about, it's not often that both of us are gone at the same time into two different places in other hemispheres, but very similarly to what I was just talking about with Zambia, you came back and your stories, I haven't heard you talk one moment about the places you saw. It was the heroes, the team, the people. Mark, you came back and all you have talked about are the incredible people that serve Christ internationally over in Asia. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I love is it's, of course it's great to see new things, experience new, whatever. It's the people, right? That the Zambia,
just
Thailand,
this morning,
Taiwan,
just this morning I was sitting out. Everywhere we go, all the places we go, I go to Starbucks and get one of those, the city or the place, the mug. So we had our mugs every morning. It's like, what mug is it going to be?
Oh, cool.
Santa Barbara or Euskadi, the Spain
Serenge.
mug.
You got
I don't have a Zambia one. I don't have a Zambia one, but
gonna have to make that custom.
I'm gonna take some duct tape on one of your other mugs and write Serenge on it. It'll have to have a broken handle or something.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Oh man. Well, this morning
I'll work on that. Mark. I'll work on that.
Thanks. Next time. Well, I'm drinking out of the Kaohsiung mug from my time in Taiwan with Jamie and Jess Schmidt and their team. And we went to Taiwan. So I was actually voice texting with Jamie this morning and just telling him, man, I'm so proud. The thing coming back is I am so proud to be associated with such amazing people.
Amen.
I mean, Clinton Miranda Robinson. We were on the phone last night. I was finishing up an NBA game. He's like, "Hey, we should debrief sometime." I'm like, sweet. Once the game's over, let's talk.
Maybe he was watching too. I don't know.
Oh no, yeah. We connected last night, and and then Jamie this morning.
I love that, man.
Incredible people. And then on that, on Clint's team, I mean, the Alex and Kennedy, the Yetzies, you've got, I mean, Megan Thompson, Matt Swanson. I mean, I don't know if maybe I'm missing some people there, but like on Jamie's, Jamie and Jess and their sweet little girls, Layla and Lucy, and then,
even just remembering Jamie's own story from Ames.
Incredible.
Well,
it's
Miranda's story from Ames. I mean,
so good.
The idea that we're able to see these guys come to know Christ, mature, and now we're traveling across the world to visit them as they're serving Christ in the front lines. I mean, what?
Seeing like,
what is that in 3 John? What greater joy? I have no greater joy than to see my children walking in the truth. You know what I mean? Like those are just two examples of, wow, what greater joy on the planet than I remember when you came to know Christ.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here you are still walking in the truth and proclaiming Christ.
I'm just looking at the picture, like Emily Natchez in Taiwan. They're learning Chinese. Nolan and Rachel Hicks were there. They're going to be heading over to Thailand. I think Matt Swanson said, I mean, just like the Clinton Miranda just adopted these, are in the process, these sweet, Thai boys, Tono and Greting, and getting to go play ball with Greting. I mean, I'm just saying all of these people, and then the ones that, and there are others on the team and others that were there that was such a special time. But you're just so proud to be associated. You feel like this. This is the A team.
Oh, yeah.
It's the average team.
Well, and while I was in Zambia, I talked for a while with Mike Russell, who's in Malawi as orthopedic surgeon. So got to talk to him and how they're doing and everything. Then I got to Paris on our way back. I had a layover. And next thing I know, Austin Claver's FaceTiming with me because we're both in Europe, he's in Spain. So all the connections of all these people all over the planet that have come and been sent out of Veritas.
Yeah.
And to be still connected with them and hear the stories and become fascinated with what God's doing, not just here, because that's amazing, but you lift up your head, or at least you get to go see sometimes. You're like, holy cow, this is like a thimbleful of the grace.
Well, wow. I love, like, even thinking about my time in Zambia, just getting a glimpse of people's hearts that's just different. And I think talking about Zambia and the ever-present awareness that the Lord's with them. Like, they're walking around like Jesus is in the room always.
Amen.
Like, you're having a conversation with them and they're just like, yes, Lord. Just in the middle, like I'm talking to him. It feels like he's just quick talking to Jesus and then we're talking again. And it's this ever present, like Jesus is in the room. And it gives you this, just the sovereignty of God with us always.
Yeah.
And so, Mark, I'm curious, like, after your time, what are the things that you learned? Or I feel like you came back with just a passion that the people brought you.
Yeah. I mean, and meeting all the new friends. I mean, the Doties, Mason and Ashley, and they're and all the sweet people from some other churches that are
God bless their home church, but I do want to adopt them.
Oh,
just make them honorary.
Oh man. Like, I just gotta say, I mean, Dan and Melody in the big country over there, just what dear people. So I think, Drake, I come back feeling the tension, maybe the problem of blessing, which is always like, why me? Why us? That's David's, I think it's the 1 Samuel 6 thing, where he's like, or 2 Samuel 6, where he's just like, who am I?
Yeah.
Why me? I feel that dilemma coming back, and you go and you're in a city of 12 million people in Bangkok and just all these people. And then you just kind of look at your own life and think of the treasure of the gospel that you have. You have found the field with the pearl of great price in it. And you just think, whoa, how did I stumble upon this field, this kingdom, this, and so it makes you, and Jeff, I mean, and Drake, I think with you guys having experienced Zambia, you come back and you just, how do you even take it in?
Yeah.
The blessings that have come to us through God and the common grace that has been shed upon our country. But I think coming back, I think my lessons you heard on Sunday in that sermon is Jesus in John 4, after talking to the woman at the well, the Samaritan woman, he says to them, like, open your eyes.
Yeah.
And he explains the way of the kingdom, where he goes, guys, don't say 4 more months than the harvest. The harvest is ready now. And he explains to them, he's like, guys, you have to understand that this moment that happened with the Samaritan woman, the reason she was ready for harvest is because of all the prophets, because of John the Baptist, because of all the people that came before. And we are walking into a field that we did nothing.
Yeah.
We didn't plant these seeds. We didn't grow these seeds. We just showed up and harvested. Yep. And he's like, and he explains that the kingdom is there's planting and there's harvesting, and it's happening at the same time. And he says, I love Eugene Peterson says, and hand in hand, they rejoice together. And I just thought that
so good.
We are, and this is the lesson, like, and that God's saying to me, like, Mark, hey, come on, like, remember that you are a farmer in my field, and your job is to farm whether that's planting and we never get to see the fruit grow up,
Yeah.
or harvest, and because someone else, I mean, think about it. Like 16 years ago, we got to Iowa City. There were people praying for this city for decades.
Oh yeah.
You know, there were
Right.
people that
100%.
were sharing the gospel for years.
like
Just-
Dave and Marie Hicks
Yes.
waiting here.
Moved here
Yeah.
from California to start a ministry.
Yes.
And when they showed up at Veritas, he's like, this is what we've been praying for the last 15 years.
Dude, totally. In the John 4 thing, I was thinking of this when I was listening to your talk that you gave. I don't remember who. I'd love to attribute this to the appropriate person. I don't remember who said it, but right after he says that, lift up your eyes. The harvest is white unto harvest, whatever. The Samaritans are coming out of the town toward them. You didn't say this in your message, did you?
Yeah, like literally as they're walking toward him, he's telling this to the disciples.
And they would normally have had like a off-whitish.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Oh,
yeah.
So
I should have read more commentary.
No.
I
I don't even know if it came out of content here. But I'm just saying, like, this crowd of people, because you see it from the next verses, are literally on their way out because of her testimony of running into town and saying, come see the man who told me everything every day. So, and they're white because their togas are, their wraps are white. And so when he says white unto harvest, you almost wonder if he's actually lifting his hand, because the fields maybe were not actually white at that point. They're not, but he's pointing to all the people. Back to your point, they didn't go into, they went into town, bought some food and came back. Probably didn't say anything to anybody about who they'd been with,
Right.
So here's God bringing the crowd to them. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
come on. And the field, it's a field of souls. It's like Jesus turning their attention to people.
Yes.
And I think that's such an average pastor motif,
Totally.
because as you become a big deal, you focus less on people and more on structures and
Totally.
the institution of the thing and making business decisions, all that. But Jesus is constantly like, hey, look at these people.
Yes.
You guys, I want to ask you, like, Drake, I'll throw this to you and Jeff. This is maybe we can talk about this later. The Not Dead Yet podcast.
Oh,
I just stumbled upon this. Great. I binged on it yesterday. So maybe in the next episode we can talk more about that. But
did you see, by the way, John Piper talked about?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
Dude,
Okay,
that clip.
Ben
Yeah.
says,
Or yeah. His.
Anyway.
So good. But
I mean, if you
here's
get name dropped by John Piper, holy cow.
dude, if John Piper ever name drops Jeff Dodge, you're done. You're done.
I'm off. I'm gonna join Jake Each out there somewhere, having been
Start a
voted
new
off the
podcast.
island.
You will know better than to show up to this podcast. You're just gonna say I'm out, and we will all know
Can't
why.
even come out to your fire porch.
Yeah.
Nope.
You'll have to watch us from that window in there.
Yeah, you'll still be here. I just won't be invited.
Jeff, as long as you, the man of honor, 25 trips to Zambia, get shoved in the back of a Cessna with the luggage because you're the smallest hobbit on the trip,
You're welcome.
you are that secures your spot
You should
on this
see
podcast.
I think one of the only team pictures we have. Not only am I the smallest guy, but Matt Hofert, who to me is a giant, is trying to get in the picture. So he stands on a curb behind me. So he's already
towering.
So I know, totally. I looked at the picture. I'm like, okay, just, picture paints 1,000 words, baby. There it is.
There
right
it is.
there.
Oh wow.
Oh man. Okay, so here's my little on the Not Dead Yet podcast. The guy was talking about.
Thanks for keeping that thought, by the way. Did you?
Come on, John.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Anyway, back to here you are.
He was talking about this editorialist that was like, how am I going to write 2 editorials a week? And his boss says, come on, you don't get and he said a word, I'll say, you don't get ticked off at least twice a week or something. Like, come on.
Totally.
You're not mad about something at least twice a week?
Right.
Come on. So anyway, that was so here I am. So let me give you something that I'm a little fired up about.
Oh, because I got
back.
mad about something this morning too. So
Did you?
I'll
Okay,
pile
that's
on when you're done.
that's secretly what this podcast is about. So
Are you saying we should do 2
all right.
episodes a week now?
let's
Increase the
Wow.
schedule of this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Instead of twice a month, it's twice
I mean,
a week.
times 3. That's
That's ambitious.
we could easily do a weekly podcast, but this is why we won't. So
You're welcome.
Anyway, can you still hear? Okay, there we go. Yeah, there. So okay, aren't you mad at least twice a week? So yeah, that's the content. Here it is. I worry about our church, and the bigger you get. So Jesus is saying, we want you to be farmers in the field. You are workers for the kingdom. In our churches, I think this can happen if it's a small church or big church, but certainly like as it gets bigger, this is a more of a tension to manage. My call on Sunday is like, be a farmer, not a consumer. Like your job is to produce,
Right.
to plant, to harvest, to do work. So I worry, and I use the illustration of, like in Johnson County where we live, it's cool to eat healthy, eat organic. There's a lot of gardens, but most people aren't gardeners. But what they do is, and they're too smug to shop at big box stores.
Right. Right.
We want to go to our specialized, like maybe grocery store, or the most, like the closest you can get to being a gardener without being a gardener is to buy from a CSA, a community supported agriculture. So local farmers. And so people here are like, well, I don't farm, but I know the farmer. And I know the crops. Like I named all my radishes, and picked them, and here we are. I feel like, could we be a church with CSA subscribers instead of actual farmers and gardeners? Like we go to this church, and no, I'm not actually a worker here. Like I don't actually do anything here, but I know the people that do. Like I know, I have Dale Mulligan's phone number. He's a worker.
Yeah.
I know Jeff. I know Drake. I know,
just kind of hooking your wagon.
Yeah,
to the real tractor.
Yeah, and so like I go to a real CSA, church, and so I think that tension of like, how do you, and so then it becomes like the church has to get to another tension in it is, I have noticed that maybe when does fellowship and discipleship slowly drift into networking? And all of a sudden there's some prominent people here, and I can start to build my network of relationships, that there's a social benefit to being in this church. So here, one of the conversations I had with one of our missionaries in the big country, she is actually from that country, became a believer 12 years ago. And obviously you understand why I'm being strategically ambiguous with this. Where she's from, it's illegal to be a part of a church. She says, I have so many questions for you. You are a mega church pastor.
Oh my
word. Which Jeff.
Oh, the gut punch.
It was like,
that's a lie.
Take it back.
You immediately. You feel like you've just been accosted with this.
I'm going to update the website to make that your title on the staff page.
Oh.
And so
I am not.
You are that man. And I was like, just, you know, as she shared about her church, and this husband and wife are not able to go to the same church because he's an American, she's from that nation, and she was describing their community, and like almost everybody that goes is definitely a Christ follower.
Right.
There was one guy that in their community, Miranda actually told me the story. One guy in their community, his name is Trump. This college student, his name is Trump, and they asked him, why did you pick that name? He's like,
oh man,
he's like, I want a beautiful wife and to be rich, and so he took on the name.
Wow.
Well, anyway, in their text thread, so actually, someone fired off the text. Trump became a Christian among the, you know, that was
Breaking
the text,
news,
and it was great news. And somebody texted back, I mean, he says a lot of things. Like, we've heard this before. Be careful what you're listening to. I don't know if we can believe that. And their response was, no. Yeah. Oh, there we. Yeah.
You can. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh my
word. So there we are. And anyway, so Trump. But the story was they had some in there during, you know, the last few years where they had a resurgence of COVID. They had a major lockdown, which lockdown there is like you actually are locked down. You can't. But Trump was crawling through the storm sewers to get
way
to church.
No way.
And the picture of Trump crawling through the sewers to get to church was, I'm just like, how cool is that? And anyway, so she's asking me about our church, like how many people would crawl through the sewers to get to Veritas?
Word.
Like, I think we'd have a pretty.
Could we go back to one service?
We should.
It might be worth it.
Oh wow!
Remember that?
Okay, so Drake, you start us off with processing that tension of CSA farmers. How do you continue to, and the whole tension of people, now there's a social benefit to it, the networking, the kind of when attendance at this church becomes
like a social capital.
Social capital. Yeah. Like how do you fight for this? Like, man, we are real farmers in God's field.
Yeah. I feel like the first thing that comes to my mind is, making it about the people. Like I had this full circle moment last night at youth. We had our last youth of the year, and the last part of it, we had some youth alum, including Matthew Hicks, Mackay,
no way,
Sophie, Avery, Tally, came back to kind of walk through with our seniors, like how do you transition into college well?
Dude, that's so cool.
And so I had this moment as they're leading these seniors, and in the back of the room, a guy, Ryan Murphy, a part of the first college D group that I ever led.
No way.
Standing there with his baby boy. Just like observing the people he's discipled, and they're talking to the next seniors. And it's just this full circle moment of these are the people over the years. And and it's just like ministry has to be about the people. And how do we keep finding ways, like in your message, Mark, to pursue people, to know the faces that we're praying for. And I love, like, in your message, okay, how do we keep it about worship? Like, worship's the goal, not growing this thing, not ministry, because we want to be amazed by Jesus to the point where we're trying to draw people to that overlook. Like, we've seen this beautiful overlook of who Jesus is. How can we bring people to see him and just be amazed by him? It's not about Veritas. Veritas can't ever be about Veritas. it's about this beautiful overlook that we've seen. Now we want other people to see it, and to buy into that faithfulness wins out. To not the strategic, grow quick schemes, but like, no, faithfulness is the way. And even at Connection Group, we have some youth leaders, and they're like, I feel like youth ministry is where I learn how to be faithful. Like that is where I learned to just keep showing up, planting seeds, and just to buy into the joy of planting the seed. Like, I think we know that there's joy in the harvesting, but there's just as much joy in planting.
Yeah.
Because that means we're talking about Jesus. And if sharing Jesus and talking about Jesus is the goal, there's a whole lot of joy,
dude,
in the planting. And so when Jesus stays the target, I think that keeps our mind and our heart on the people. Like, we want the people to know about Jesus, not the people out there to hear about Veritas because of what's happening,
dude.
You know,
it's easy to, I think, just smear a large church with a mega church, with a lukewarm mega church label. But when you start making it personal, like, because I did this, and I have to be careful about this, like, to get jaded toward our church because it's growing and it's large. Because there was a guy been in my men's group, and we have a group that meets consistently through, like, even when the 6-week men's study is not meeting, we still meet. And this guy had jumped into our table, and he wanted to, so he texted me, "Hey, do you guys meet weekly?" Well, I don't want just anyone jumping in, because that's kind of a, you want to guard, you want to protect that group, So I was like, well, why don't we grab lunch? And so we met yesterday. And basically, I gave him the, like, hey, I don't know why you want to join our group, but this is not a social networking group. Like, we are here for discipleship, to repent of sin, to follow Jesus, to pray for each other, and in that, I was able to on a napkin share the gospel, and he grabbed he's like, "Can I take that?" And the joy of planting a seed and preaching the good news to this guy, and he's totally, I'm like, you got to join our group. I was so excited to see just like this, guy in his 50s, and the hope of what God has for him in this next season of his life as a follower of Jesus. Like, it just got me so excited. So if I just see that person if I get jaded and just like, oh, that's just someone that's here for the networking, I miss a moment.
Yes.
I miss him. Like,
totally.
And I think to just add an amen, to see people. And after that sermon on Sunday, this guy came up to me, and he said, he was waiting to talk to me. And he's like, he said his name, and he says, "I'm from Iran, and my name means blessing. And your whole sermon was on blessing, and you were talking to me. Jesus
Wow.
Can we meet and talk more about this faith that you talk about?" So, I'm like, okay, the fields are white unto harvest. There they are. And
well, Mark, I think that's part of what is going to keep you from just going down the way of the American megachurch pastor, is they become more and more often, at least. I don't want to project on that's wrong. I don't want people to project onto us. So, but many at least can become insulated from the everyday people that are just walking through this, because they've got kind of a special place to be during the services and after the services to kind of protect them from the crowds. And they've got, they just become so insulated. So they're dealing more with the other leaders and with networking with other churches and other big leaders and speaking at these conferences and going out on tour and whatever. And I think that's the stuff. That's the breaking point when all of a sudden I'm standing up in front of a group of strangers because I've never actually just walked among them and gotten to know the one guy over there, the one guy. It's impossible for us to know everybody that's coming through those doors, but we have to be available, accessible so that we can stumble across that woman at the well, that individual that sparks a whole new story of gospel in us. You know what I mean? And then knowing when those moments happen, now you start projecting that out. Holy cow, how many more of those actual real seekers of truth are in this place? You know what I mean? It kind of, then you start projecting that stuff more than the cynical version,
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. There's so much to process when you go overseas and come back. And, on my way over here, I called our friend Paul Sabino.
Oh, did you really?
And just because I knew his fire is always burning for the nations, and he had just gotten back from a country in North Africa and where we were in 97, the summer of 97. So we were just swapping stories about that and hearing his heart for the nations. But I want to keep that fire burning.
Yes.
And is it the most efficient use of our time to go overseas?
No. There's nothing if you're talking to me right now. The word efficient will never enter the vocabulary of my trips to Zambia.
Right.
So.
Efficient, strategic.
If that's the bar, I fail every time.
What, Drake, speak to this as it relates to discipleship. Relationship do you agree or disagree? Like, relationships are never efficient. Like, embracing the inefficiency of relationships and people is a part of guarding pastoral integrity.
Oh yeah.
Have you found that to be true?
Oh goodness. Yeah, when you actually start to get close enough to people, you find out people are pretty messy. And I've even heard this
present company excluded.
Totally. Yeah, some people. But even this idea that as a shepherd, as a pastor, you should smell like sheep. Like if you're around, and there's just this reality of that, when you get around people, it doesn't happen in our timing. Like we also can't control it, whether we try to be the Holy Spirit or not. We make a pretty bad one. And so embracing just the patience and grace that the Lord has with us. And when it comes to relationships, and it's actually interesting talking in our connection, we also talked about just the tension of, because I love that image that you had, Mark, of like some of you have been planting and you're just staring at dirt. Like you've just been looking at this dirt, waiting for something to pop up, but you keep coming back. And where is the line between like this patience, entering in, continuing to plant seeds there versus the, pearls to swines and that whole idea. And so we were just wrestling through that, because I think when you start talking to people, you realize every story has difficult people, difficult family, difficult coworkers that, it just takes, I think it's in those relationships that the Lord's revealed the most about me. And just shown me a lot about myself that needs to be refined. There's never the efficiency. I love,
by the way, your just ministry instincts, even when you were describing what you did last night by having the alumni, come back and coach up their younger peers. That's 2 Timothy 2:2, right? You're not just teaching people, but you're teaching people to teach people. You're discipling so that you make disciple makers, and to model that and show that and involve other people is such a cool. As you were thinking about or saying that, right before I left for Zambia, I met up with Max Carlson, who was just one chapter ago, a beautiful example of the youth ministry. Max comes to know Christ, is discipled, by his peers. I mean, you were involved in that, your family. And now at these different life stages, because now he's 21?
Yeah, probably 21.
22. But we're his family. We're Max's. I was like his grandpa at that point or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to believe dad, but probably closer to grandpa. But I'm just saying, like, the stewardship that we have to stay connected with real people in our church family, because we are that for so many people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now who knows the next steps and the next, what that's like 10 years from now when we bring up his name. What are the stories that will be told? You know what I mean? Like, so just that, Drake, way to go on teaching people to teach people, teaching. That's not, I'm the youth pastor. I do all the ministry around here. You're bringing others in to shoulder that with you. That's so sweet.
But I think even in stories about Zambia, you know, you've always said like Zambia always plays with my heart. Like it causes me to love it more, and it breaks my heart at times.
Oh,
but you've also seen the fruit of years of the inefficiency of continuing to step in, continuing to be be and now even this bridge project that
dude
is just crazy.
Jeff,
and you've gone through so many loops, like hoops of what that might be. But.
You got to tell us about the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found I've got one small little travel journal that I've kept for every journey over there. I've just put in the basics of who was on it and what we did or whatever. I found it was in the early years that like Leonard, Henry, some of our favorites from the years past, were talking about this valley, and they were trying to reach it, but it was so inaccessible, and if they only had a bridge. Like, I had forgotten about that conversation. So we're talking about going back 18 years. I don't know. So fast forward, Joe Kalunga becomes a teacher out in Kabansa Village, and that's the place that if you've kept on the story at all, this is where we got water, Mark, when you were there. We got a clinic built, blah, blah, blah. But the bridge, so what happens is this village and a whole cluster of villages on that side of the river, if they ever really are desperate for help to the known world, they will traverse these paths up and over this escarpment, these hills, very dangerous path for like 8 to 9 hours of walking on this dangerous path. Then they come to this river. It's always a bit of a challenge to get across that river, but on the other side of that river is this power station. At that power station, there are phones that they can access to get out, vehicles if they need to get to a hospital. Like, it is their lifeline to the outside world, is this power station. It's a hydroelectric power station by the river. Well, it's always a formidable barrier, but during the rainy season, it's completely impassable. It's the little cables that they stretch from one tree to the next across the river to cross on when it's not a torrent, they can manage. But during the rainy season, just a few years ago, a guy was trying desperately to get across during rainy season, gets swept off the cables, and they found his skeleton like a year later, way, way, way downstream. And so we have tried at so many times to get this bridge put up, and you're just thinking, are you kidding me? We can't just get a pedestrian bridge across this thing so people can safely, mothers can bring their dying babies to a hospital. Like, it's just like, what is it about this bridge that is impossible for us? We even had an engineer. We've got these concrete pillars of a failed attempt in the middle of this river, so many times. So anyway, through a friend of a friend, Joel Horn, got me in touch with this NGO out of South Africa who builds like orphanages and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, we'd love to take this on, but man, we don't do bridges much. Could we connect you with this other NGO that's not a Christian organization, but they build bridges? Yeah, you can. Come to find out, it's Bridges to Prosperity, now called FICA, which is this global, phenomenal organization. That's what they do, is build bridges. So as soon as they told me who it was, I was like, oh, yes, you may connect me with Bridges to Prosperity. And so, anyway, long story short. Oh, this is the funniest part. So I get ahead, and I'm pushing. I mean, Mark, you know how I can get. We're so close to getting this connection. They're like, oh, well, I can't meet you in May. Can we meet you in June? No, you can't. I come back right now. You got to meet me at these days. So anyway, they send a team of engineers while we're there. So we go meet them, get out there. We're on our way down this. The Swiss came in and built this like rail car. It's an open air thing to get down this outrageously steep incline to get from the top of the hill down to where the river is. We're on our way down, and I'm surrounded by Zambians and having a blast, trying to communicate. It's so fun. Anyway, so fun. But I hear the engineers behind me, and I turned around and I said, wait, you came out here? They said, actually, we made an initial trip out here back in February. And I'm like, wait, what? Why did you do that? Well, we got this weird email from this guy telling us about the need for this bridge. And I'm like, no way.
What are the chances?
Somebody else is writing you? And they go, yeah. And he put these pictures on of him going across on these cables. I was like, wait, that was me. I sent you that email, but it had been forwarded around. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
So they didn't know. I didn't know. And all of a sudden we're all laughing hysterically like, no way. You know? So we get there. Well, the people of Kabansa village have come, the 8.5 hour trek walking, have come to meet us on that day because Joe Kalunga,
with babies strapped on their back, the women.
These women going across these cables over this river, clinging desperately with babies strapped onto their back. And the men with their chaka hose ready to do work come over. And so I go over, and through Joe Kalunga, I'm talking to the women. I'm like, why have you come for this day, you know? And immediately one of the women pipes up, we are asking God to please give us a bridge, you know, through translation. Well, this one engineer that I don't even know is a believer, he's this Ethiopian guy, a tear just starts going down. I go to tell him, and a tear, he goes, I have built 40 of these bridges all over. This has to be the most essential, necessary project I think I've ever been part of.
Wow.
We do this a lot, and it helps villagers, obviously, in different parts of the world. But this one, I'm telling you, not just our region, globally, our organization, rarely do we get to see the kind of bridge that will have such impact on just humanitarian need, like life and death.
Wow.
So they said, we don't have to go back and have a meeting. This is becoming our priority number one. We will get this done before the next rains come.
Unreal.
And then they show me a picture of what the kind of bridges they built, and in my mind, it looks like the Golden Gate Bridge. You know, it's not, but it's a.
You showed
bridge,
me a picture
bridge,
of this, and I'm like, it is. It's not like a little.
Maybe we can put it on the show notes.
It's not a wood bridge over like a creek here in Iowa. It looks like the Golden Gate Bridge.
And I'm getting teared up right now. I said to these engineers, I said, hey, you guys, you might not know this, but there's this verse in the Bible, and it says that God can do unimaginably more than we could ask for or even imagine. That he, you know what I'm trying to say through the fog. I said, when we asked God for help, and through that got you to ask for help, this is so much greater than I even imagined in my mind. This is worth the wait. This is going to be safe and secure and done right by people that this is what they do, you know? And I mean, pretty soon they're trying to check the water table for the first pillars. You know, they're doing their research for this project. So of course the Zambian dudes, the Kabansa dudes get in there with their chakaho and they're digging this huge pit. Well, they have to go down over 6 feet down. So before long, using these simple, just almost, I don't know, archaic hose, you can't even see their heads down under the. All you see is dirt flying up out of this hole. Just showing again that these men and women are here. They're desperate. They will do whatever they are asked to do because this is going to mean life and death change. You know,
for Jeff,
people. So
I just think you have in this village in the middle of the Luangwa Valley of Zambia that no one will ever see or know about. You have brought running water, a clinic and hospital, a bridge to save lives. Jeff is a big deal in Kabansa Village.
This was beautiful though. Just so you know how not a big deal. So I'm up at the top of this, you know, contraption that takes you down the hill there. And this older gentleman's up there that kind of runs the thing. And he walks up to me, Zambian, you know, and he looks up, he goes, "You've been here." I'm like, "I have been here," you know? And he goes, "You are old.
Couple things I know.
Yeah.
You have been here.
You are old.
and you have age, And I said, I poked him in the chest. I'm laughing. I said, and it's you people that have made me old. Every wrinkle, every gray hair. And he's laughing. I'm laughing.
Oh,
Well, it
yes.
just makes me think, like, back to your question, Mark, how much of that fruit would have been missed if you'd be thinking through, I'm going in for the most efficient project.
Yeah.
Like this bridge project, the
No.
most efficient project ever done. Like it's,
Right.
you know, it's
Yeah.
just embracing the inefficiency of the relationship.
Yeah, dude.
Bring some fruit that creates stories.
Yeah.
100%.
What do you guys say to maybe like most of our listeners, many of them will never travel overseas on mission trips. This is a guilt-free zone of people feeling like, well, that's great. I'm working my job and, I'm listening to this podcast, doing some work, and I will never but what's your encouragement to them? Like they want to be farmers, and we're all farmers, and some get, just even the role, like most people in their life.
Most shouldn't. Like even in Cabanza, Serenge, we shouldn't take big loads of people over there. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
If you don't imagine that that's the ticket in order to feel like I've accomplished something. I'm going to travel with Jeff over. No, dude, don't. But there might be some people. Honestly, I'm being honest that they're working hard and they've got money that they could contribute to this bridge. Like when they put the price tag of what they hadn't done they still haven't given me the estimates or whatever. But I was like, wow. And then I'm like, oh, I'm not afraid of that number. And I stop. I'm like, I'm going to stop right now because I just lied to you. I'm terrified of that number. But I'm also saying, because there are people that have been working hard and that can be the contribution. You don't need to go and dig the hole. You got Cabanza people, So I'm just saying, but do something, get out of your just comfort zone of living the American dream. And some should go all sorts of places. And then some should at the very least say, well, man, I'm at least going to support all those people in Southeast Asia. I'm going to support this bridge. I can actually contribute in a significant way so that maybe others, that's what they lack.
Yeah.
What
I just think about, you come back from Zambia and you're like, these people are fascinating. And you're just becoming so curious to learn from them. And I think when we flip that switch here of just a curiosity of people, like even Makai last night was talking about a guy that he met that he had some assumptions at first, but then he hung out with him and he was just curious. Like, dude, tell me about your life. And it just created this desire to pour into him, to get to know him. And Mark, I loved even in your sermon, that idea of pursuing people. Just be fascinated by the people that God has placed around you, because I think we'll find that our curiosity will be struck in a significant way. And so whether it be at the playground, like across the street, or I'm just thinking I'm going to my little girl's Tiny Tots soccer game tonight, and there's coaches, there's people there that, what would it look like to be curious about the people that God's placed around us?
Back to the woman at the well that Mark preached on. None of the other dudes, they're called apostles. Sorry.
Those guys.
Had even a moment of curiosity about who this woman was, other than they summed her up and were dismissive of her. So how many people do we meet at work, at the playground, like you're talking about at Tiny Tots? It's so adorable. And we make assumptions about them, like you were saying, Makai did. But who knows, if we just open our mouths and even just attempted to go to that spiritual place in their lives and their journey, how many doors would be open that she was an open book. Come and see the man that told me everything I ever did. You know what I mean? Like, so ready for that intervention right there. So just get out of your comfort zone and just begin to speak about your faith in Jesus Christ and see what outrageous story suddenly unfolds right in front of your eyes with a neighbor, alone Zambia or Thailand.
It's good. It's good stuff. Well,
and I do just want to say, guilt-free zone, but if you do want to contribute to the work in Zambia, we'll put a link in the show notes to our giving page. If you scroll down, Zambia Fund, you can contribute to that.
Because you did share the number and it was 6 figure. So
Several
It's
of
a
those.
number.
All right.
No.
Well,
Yep.
God will
Yep.
provide. And
I totally believe that.
Yep. And so, as we wrap it up, oh man, next episode's gonna be great.
Nice.
Yeah,
Woo!
I'm agitated about more things.
Man, we didn't even get to what I'm mad about.
we're gonna
Next episode.
vent
Here we
next
go.
episode. We missed Jake today, didn't
I
we?
know.
But Drake was awesome.
Yes.
Look at, come
Wow,
on,
Thanks for having me.
Drake. It was awesome
Out with
having
the
you.
old, in with the new.
Yeah. Jake turned into Drake.
No.
It's a 2.0. No, there's no replacing Jake,
No,
is it?
no. All kidding aside.
We miss Jake and his comments. As Jeff, as we close, you got a good word to speak over us as we
I
close
think the
our time?
best word I can think of is the very first verse of the passage I'm going to be covering this coming Sunday, Romans 8:1. There is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Wow. And I think today one of my exercises is going to be what I used to do when I was a brand new Christian, is just rewrite that verse, over and over into a journal or whatever. You know how that does? There's something about the actual, your pen, your hand, all your senses, there's a reason that's one of the most profound, life-changing verses that people, maybe is the first one they memorize, because it's so loaded with gospel. So I've got, I think 11 verses to cover, but I'm actually not going to get off verse 1 too quickly on Sunday, because I just feel like the riches of just that beautiful gospel truth of Romans 8:1. So that would be my good word.
So if you, that's episode. Good. So if you are in Christ, you can laugh and rejoice that you are not under condemnation or judgment.
In Christ Jesus, not in your efforts,
in Christ.
not in your, it's only way is a release and be taken in by Christ Jesus.
The law of the Spirit of life to set you free from the law of sin and death. So with that, we hope you enjoyed the journey with all the updates. We're coming in next episode with some fun topics. So we hope you'll join us next time as well. But thanks for coming along on the journey. Until next time, have a great week.